Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we break down the rigging we use to mount a camera to a physical therapy sled. This rigging can also be used in endless other applications. Watch the rig in action and stick around for the results. As always, I break down all the components used to make this rig come together. Let's get into it. My role on set was the gaffer. I did also bring my 1-ton grip van, which I'm very familiar with all the components that are on it. So when the camera department and the DP said we need to mount this B cam for a low angle shot onto the sled, I was able to hunt down the components necessary to make this happen. And I was very familiar with everything that I had. So when Adam, which was our swing, put together this rig, I was able to help him with some of the components that would be necessary. You can see me right here with Aaron, which is the DP and owner of Forte Film Studio, who hired me out. Let's get into the build. What made this build possible is the camera actually has a cage and it also had 15mm rods on it holding the lens, so it made it extra stable. We have a Mathilini clamp that is actually holding and clamping the 15mm rods for stability towards the front. And this is what the clamp looks like if you were to order it online. As we pull back here, you can see that the Mathilini is being clamped onto, as well as another baby pin that's going to the camera. And both of these are being held by the Matthews Hollywood arm, which comes with the head as well. The combo, I'm showing the combo because it's a better value, but on this end, it's just the arm being shown. And then here's the combo itself. As we pull back a little further, we reveal our Adam. Adam is the swing on this shoot. He has a lot of rigging experience, so he was able to help us make everything come together. Now, just below the camera, we have a video head. It's a Manfrotto video head. And then we have a Cupo baby ball head adapter, and then a Matthews Mathilini clamp that's actually clamped on to the frame of the sled, holding all those components together. The Kupo adapter is probably one of my favorite pieces of grip gear in my kit because you can get a quick top-down setup for a lightweight camera. This may seem like a big list already, but a lot of these components most grip trucks have on them, and some people have these in their regular kit. So the next portion is we have another Matthews Hollywood head and arm. This is actually the head part that's connecting to a Matthews Mathilini 2-inch in jaw, and it's clamped down. One thing that's really important, and this is what the components look like individually. Even though we were putting a lot of stable components on this sled, one thing we noticed right off the bat is the sled itself was very flimsy and loose. They're using it for physical therapy. They don't need it to be rock solid. And I guess over time, some of the actual nuts and bolts loosened up. So Adam is right there tightening things up and making sure everything's nice and secure. So we eliminate as much slop and play as possible to make our camera shot stable. Now we have a Matthews Hollywood head and arm once again that's connecting the other components, and it's connected to a Super Mayfer clamp that has a pin sticking out of it, which gave us the ability to clamp onto this. And the reason I ended up using a Mayfer clamp in that scenario is I did run out of Cardellini's with a short throw. A key thing to remember when you're rigging something up is be adaptive and utilize the gear that you have available to you. There's no reason to dwell on, hey, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. What you have is what you have, and make it work. One of the key components in this rig was actually the 5/8 pin, which was an Amaran pin that was used for tube lights in my kit, but it came in really well in this scenario because it has an anti-twist function. So it has locating pins, and it was able to go into this camera cage, utilize the locating pins so you wouldn't get any twist. And we had one on each side of the camera, which held it really stable. These things are an amazing asset for a kit because they also work for top-down setups. It may seem like a lot of grip gear was used to make this happen, but this is all stuff that's normally on the van. The Mathelinis, the Mayfer clamps, those are all used for certain rigging. The C-stand arms are used on the van themselves. And then the 3/8 pin, the little Amaran pins, are used for tubes and for top-down setups and camera rigging. So they all work on the van. Even though everything was built out, it wasn't finalized. So Adam was on standby with the camera department to make sure that everything was locked in the way they wanted. The horizon was right, the tilt was right. Everything had to be loosened and tightened to make sure that everything was secure and ready to go when it came time to actually roll camera and get the shots. Stabilizing the camera was really important for this rig. So we spread out the connection points around the camera to give us the most stability. So the two major ones, it's like riding a bicycle with handlebars. On each side of the camera, we had those Amaran 3/8 RE locating baby pins going out from each side like ears and handlebars. On the front down below, we had a Mathilini clamp holding those 15 millimeter rods, making it nice and stable. So those are three contact points. And our last contact point is the camera actually connecting to the Manfrotto video head, which then attaches to the Cupo adapter and then a Mathilini, which clamps onto the frame. This gave us the ability to have tilt, pan, and roll adjustment for all the angles we needed to fine tune it and make sure everything came out looking good and was centered up for the shot. Now it's time to get the shots. The camera stabilized, everything's rigged up. You can see there's no shake, no wobble. But this sled was designed to have weights on it. It's more stable with weight. So we were kind of underweighted on it. So it did take the talent a little bit of time to get us stable shots because they would push it and it would just kind of go crooked and steer weird ways. So once they got comfortable with it and were able to give us a good smooth push forward and backwards without it wobbling or turning too much, it really made for a great shot. There were multiple actors and actresses for this shoot. Production actually swapped them out for a lot of the scenes multiple times to give them the ability to choose who landed in what scene in post and give them a variety of things to work with. So now we're going to look at the actual final product. It's very short what was used in the edit, and you can see that here, just a quick push, and then there's going to be some quick cuts that were also used in the edit. Helping Adam with this rig was a lot of fun. What do you guys think of this rig overall? Sometimes when you build out rigs, they're not as successful as you hoped. Let me know about some of the rigs you've built out in the comments below, and were they successful or should they end up on the Shitty Rigs Instagram? Full lighting breakdowns for multiple scenes of this commercial are coming soon to the channel, so be sure to subscribe. I really appreciate everyone that likes, comments, and shares these videos. I also want to give a big shout out to Forte Film Studio for having me on this production, allowing me to share this BTS content with you guys. Also, give some of the people on the crew a follow. I'll see you on the next one.